Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Dawn. I'm a junior doctor working in the southwest of England. Today's video is all about a trip back to my hometown. I haven't seen my family in over a year like many of you guys, so we went to see my grandmother and rest of my family to celebrate her birthday. For those of you who are in a similar position to me and haven't seen your family in a while, a lot of things will have changed, and I noticed that in particular in my family members. So I'm going to show you a really nice clip of the party and visiting my family, and then I'm going to end it on a really cheery note that you're going to definitely want to wait for, about how the NHS care system is failing our grandparents and what we're going to do about it. So if you want to hear about that, which I bet you do, then please stick around. There were two reasons for this trip. One was to go up for my grandmother's birthday, as already discussed. The second reason was for my boyfriend of over a year, Tom, to meet my family. He'd never met my dad, my grandparents, my auntie, my uncle. You get the picture.
Feelings, it's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you deeper than.
Our journey starts with a 2-hour drive up to Gloucestershire, where I'm from. The first night consists of us showing Tom around and me showing him all of the areas of my childhood. We take a walk up the Buttercup Fields up towards what we know as Caterpillar Hill. We meet the cows on top of the hill and watch the sunset. How idyllic. We see the horses on the way back down, and I've showed him around the grounds of my grandparents' place. We also make an effort to take my granddad out in the wheelchair, strapped in of course, because he hasn't really been out since the pandemic. The next day we get up and we go to Cheltenham to meet my dad in the gardens. Cheltenham is where I was born, and it's an absolutely beautiful town. If you haven't been there, it's an imperial town, and it's well known for its gardens, its imperial spa qualities, and we spent our afternoon in the gardens listening to some live music, and then I showed him up and down the promenade. Party bags for all the guests. Tom, what do you think of what do you think of the Cotswolds?
Ooh, I think it's very Cots and it's very bold.
Okay, that's enough from you. For once, I was actually excited to go and see my family.
Every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me.
But it is crazy how things have changed over the pandemic. Despite everything seeming all nice and happy, there is an underlying tension, especially with difficulty caring for my elderly grandfather. My grandfather is a law graduate from Oxford University, but he spent most of his time working for GCHQ, the details of which I am not allowed to know, and he tells me that he hasn't really been outside for 6 months due to his mobility. I take this as a kind of challenge, so we strap him up in the wheelchair, lift him down the stairs, and wheel him around, get stuck in all the potholes, and have dinner outside. It's a somewhat humbling experience, despite the obvious stresses. Being able to look after your elderly family because they've looked after you as a baby, it actually brings happiness for me and kind of shows me the circle of life. The circle of life. I think what was made evident to me was my ignorance of the availability of care for the elderly. Even after I read Being Mortal by Atul Gawande, sorry if I said that wrong, I still told myself that the care in this country, because he was a US surgeon, is still adequate. And I told my grandmother there is still free state options for care, and I later realised that actually that's not true at all. I've been completely blindsided by the hospital NHS system, which focuses on just putting a patch on things, and when another crack appears, we'll just put another patch on that one too. There's no kind of community care, state-funded system unless you have rinsed all of your own savings and sold your own house. It's actually quite tragic, seeing as though my grandparents have worked their whole lives and obviously paid all their taxes, as have many people. It does seem a little bit of a kick in the teeth to find out that, even as a doctor I didn't realise this, but to find out that people who need it the most don't actually receive the care they need despite having paid for it. It does make me question whether we should even be relying on the NHS. I think the NHS is a great emergency system. I don't think it's a particularly great system for looking after chronic diseases or ageing. Even one of our long-standing friends, who is an orthopaedic surgeon, acknowledges that the NHS is so broken. Chris, do you have anything to say about working in the NHS?
I love the work, but it's quite shit for patients. We're not treating our patients very well at the moment.
Did you know that I have...
We're badly letting them down. Badly letting them down.
Oh dear.
But seriously.
Do you know that I have a blog and a YouTube channel?
Do you?
It's about being a doctor. That's why I'm getting an excerpt from the man himself.
No, no, you can't. You've got to be careful. To be, I can't say anything bad against it because we're doing our bloody best. But it's not good enough.
I mean, I say that quite openly.
No, it's not good enough.
Not
Sad.
good. I'd like to point out that Chris is working well past retirement age. He's now 75. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. But he is absolutely smashing life. And honestly, I kind of hope that he's still working when I need my hip surgery so he can do it for me. Everybody knows that the NHS is failing our patients. That is not new news at all. We see it as NHS workers, but we also see that there's no money put into it. The system is really showing that it's cracked, and I'm really not sure how long it will be before the system crashes. Having spoken to some of my colleagues the other day, they were saying how one day life will reach an equilibrium where funding will be so poor and the NHS will be so understaffed and so broken that we won't be able to provide the care for people that we need, which means that people will just end up dying younger. Our population will reduce and we'll reach a kind of equilibrium where our healthcare system can look after the population numbers that we have. Maybe that's already happening and we just don't realise. Anyway, it's a long drive back, but I'm finally grateful for being able to introduce Tom to my family at last. Something I did fear might never actually happen. I think what I'm trying to show you from this video is that yes, beautiful bank holiday weekends can look so aesthetic on YouTube or on Instagram, but actually what you don't see is the behind the scenes, and our families are aging, and as a result I don't think our NHS will be able to look after our parents or even us when we're older. So I think that's quite a frank statement to try and invoke some change. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. The only other thing you can do, I suppose, is if you can, and I've seen more and more patients doing this, is saving up for some private healthcare treatment, and I know that is not accessible to all. It does also make you question whether having an NHS system is actually going to work in the long term. Should we be going for a more tiered system like how we pay for our taxes, or some companies don't in some cases? But sometimes I feel we're going to have to make difficult decisions for these difficult problems. I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments on what I've discussed today, which I'm sure you will, then please leave a comment down below because I really love to hear from you. And I will see you in the next video. Also, I can't believe we only left yesterday. We've only been there one night because it feels like we've been there for ages. So much happened and we saw so many people, and it just feels like we've been on this massive adventure, been to loads of places, so it's really feeling like quite an ordeal. I was really worried when I got back because I thought my plants were going to be all dead, but we literally only went for one night. So anyway, I'll see you in the next vlog.